It's not a talent problem. We have critical workforce shortages across the entire ecosystem. It's not about capability, it's about continuity. All it does is take one person that can make a difference and change the entire trajectory of your life.
Coming to you from a hangar somewhere near the flight line, where the FBO has been turning and burning all day, this is the Future in Flight podcast. I'm your host, John Starker. Today, we're sitting down with Rachelle Spector, founder of I HART Flying. This is a woman who got a random Facebook message from a flight instructor back in 2017, said why not, took a free flight, and never looked back. Fast forward almost 10 years, and she's put nearly $500,000 into flight training for the next generation, with a 98% completion rate along the way. We're talking the HARTLed model, the ripple effect of one good opportunity, F-22s, Yak-52s, aerobatics, and donuts. So buckle up, turn on noise canceling, and let's get this show off the ground. Here's my conversation with Rachelle Spector. Rachelle, you are just an amazing person, doing amazing things out there, and I want to thank you so much for taking a little bit of time to meet with us on the Future in Flight podcast.
No, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and spend some time with really good people and share our journey.
Well, you talk about journey. You have been busy facilitating the journeys of quite a few people here in aviation, and everywhere I look is addition is that you've added in. How did that start? What sparked your interest in aviation, and why did you decide that this was a great place to set up?
Believe it or not, I never thought I'd be a pilot. In August of 2017, a flight instructor randomly reached out to me on Facebook and asked me to come for a free flight. And to be honest with you, I thought the guy was pulling my chain. So I said, okay, how about tomorrow morning? Well, August 10th, 2010, I have been flying ever since. And now that I've been doing this flying for almost 16 years, but now with I HART Flying, we're slowly approaching our 10-year milestone. All it does is take one person that can make a difference and change the entire trajectory of your life. And, once you're doing this long enough, then you see it's kind of a ripple effect where then one opportunity turns into another and another and another. And you're really touching and helping and shaping the future of aviation and the workforce development, the industry pipeline, the ecosystem as a whole. And that's really what this is about, is changing lives. Because somebody changed mine almost 16 years ago.
With such a simple gesture, quite truthfully, it really is. You talk about a ripple. I mean, that ripple just builds into quite the wave. And there's so many mid-career pivots. We have a lot of individuals that listen to this show that choose aviation as a second career, a mid-career pivot. And you yourself, you were in the music industry prior to coming to aviation. Are there lessons and experiences that you were able to take from your previous career, your previous experiences, and then apply them into aviation?
What's really interesting is whether it's music, entertainment, horses. I mean, a lot of people are into horses that are into aviation. There's so many intersections with it. And what's great about the aviation community, because I think even though it's large, it's very small, it's very close knit, and the community, and that's really what got me, was I got bit by the bug. I finally felt like I fit in somewhere, and just the camaraderie. You can have $0 or $1 zillion, and we all come together with a common passion. And that's what's so great, because everybody is willing to help one another.
So well said. You hit the nail on the head when you say we have them from all walks of life. We all just come together to celebrate a common passion.
Sure. And I mean, when you think about it, besides all the lift, drag, thrust, gravity, all of the aerodynamic factors, it's magic. And the fact that we can do this, and every time you take off, your heart kind of flutters a little bit and says, wow, I can really do this. And it never gets old. And there's always something new to learn, new people to meet. And that's what's so great, because you're always learning and growing through this process. And to be able to share it with others, I mean, how amazing is that?
It really is. Aviation is always better when we have somebody to share it with, or multiple people to share it with. And the fact is, for a long time, it really has been kind of lopsided, if you will. In aviation, lopsided is not a great place to be. We want center of gravity. We want weight and balance checks. And so you're looking around at some point and you're going, man, I think this would be kind of cool for other women to come into this space. At what point did you see that there was a need for that, and there was kind of a desire to bring in other women into this space?
Well, it's really interesting because initially when I started flying, it was A to B for me. And for whatever reason, I was able to get in anything and fly it. And if that opportunity had not presented itself, that I would never have known that. And again, like it was A to B for me when I started. And then it really became apparent the need and demand for opportunities like this. And I drew out my logo and I had this idea of I HART Flying. And by July of 2017, I went to AirVenture and me, Brett, Nadia, and everybody was riding around on golf carts and talking. And he was asking me, what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go with my idea. And he says, you know what? We really like what you're doing. We really like where you want to go with this. I had a voice. I had a platform. What could you do with that to do good, to help others? And like I said, I had that opportunity. So I wanted to do something about it. So EAA said, let's partner. And that's where really I HART Flying took off. I went home from AirVenture July 2017. I put together my 501c3 nonprofit, put together all the websites, all the legal documents, and within 1 month and 15 days, I had my letter of determination from the government. And 1 month after that, we launched our first scholarship opportunity, awarded our first scholarship in December of 2017, and now we're almost 50 HART scholars in, almost $500,000 in flight training support. We just ended one of our most engaged scholarship cycles yet. We had nearly 250 qualified applications in 3 short weeks. And that just shows, the level of engagement, participation, women championing other women on their journeys. And I always say, not everybody's journey is one and the same, but every application submitted, every application applied for is a step forward in believing in you. So that's really what this is about, is lifting one another up, helping one another, championing one another. And this is both men and women, because it's not the Rachelle show. It's not the I HART Flying show. It is all of us coming together, lifting one another up for a common passion, because we know the numbers. Still globally, women occupy 5.5% of the pilot population. Now, when we look at aircraft maintenance, 2.9%. So the numbers are staggering, and it's not a talent problem. We have critical workforce shortages across the entire ecosystem, and I HART Flying is here to change that. And with that being said, we have strengthened our leadership, our governance, our entire selection committee, and we're going to be expanding to kick off our 2027 milestone with opportunities beyond just flight training. So we're really excited on what we're doing, what we're building, and where we're going.
Oh, a little breaking news right here. Look into the future of where the I HART Flying Foundation is going, and it is exciting because you bring so much passion and energy to the space. It is it's great to add in, but it's also great when you have that passion and energy, and people resonate with that. They can sense that, and they come to your cause. Now, you have built quite a great leadership team and quite an associated leadership team with your foundation. How did you source all of these amazing people to come on board and to get involved with this?
That's a really great question. Life kind of comes full circle sometimes. These are people that believed in me, my journey, before I HART Flying existed. And now these people have watched over the past almost 10 years, the progress, the awareness, what we're building, what we're doing, who we're helping. And it has spoken volumes. Now, with our impact, just so you understand, we have almost 50 HART scholars. Out of those scholars, we have a 98% completion rate, advancement rate. Those that have advanced have 100% gone on to advance, complete, and lead in reputable aviation careers across the entire industry. And that speaks volumes in and of itself. How does I HART Flying set itself apart from most, if not all, other organizations? And this is something you touched on earlier. I started flying when I was 30 years old. And we offer our opportunities to women of all ages. We seem to target women who started early on, had to stop for life, a child, whatever may have happened, and they actually want to circle back to a career that they were passionate about and have an opportunity to come back in and pursue their careers and passions and joys in life. And that's where I HART Flying comes in too. We offer an entire support system to these women before, during, and years after their participation with I HART Flying. Strategic guidance, mentorship, industry connections, whatever it may be, whether they have to shift and pivot along their aviation journeys. Because what do we want to make sure? We don't want the starting and stopping. We don't want the funding gaps. And it's not about capability. It's about continuity. Knowing that these women can advance, complete, and lead. I've created the HARTLed approach, and it's a completion model. And that's what we're about. Not just the funding and say, hey, here's your money. Have a nice life. No, you need to have the support. People need to know that they are supported along their journey, that they have someone that they can go to or a team of people they can go to for help if needed. 3, we offer opportunities for our scholars to attend NBAA and other major aviation events during the year so they can meet their very partners, sponsors, and donors, listen to their stories, listen to their journeys, listen to the impact that they're having on the industry, connect with industry professionals, the decision makers of these companies. The whole thing is so impactful, you can't even put a dollar amount on what that does for somebody's life. And then lastly, having women who are willing to pass the torch. Because again, you're touching one person and another and another and another. And like I said, it's like this ripple effect, and you're just helping unlimited amounts of people and touching people. You never know what somebody's journey is. You don't know what somebody's going through. But being able to share that with others that may be going through the same thing and may be stuck along their journey, discouraged, whatever it may be, could literally, that one thing that they saw or heard or resonated with could change their trajectory in their life too.
It's not a capability problem. It's a continuity problem that speaks to just a huge pain point in aviation. I mean, it's how can anybody be expected to start and stop and start and stop and start and have the effective, the most capable outcome? It's really difficult. So you're right. It's not they're not capable. It's that they just haven't been afforded the opportunity to see this process through. And then you throw in mentorship into that process. And then on top of it, you develop your own model, the HARTLed model, which is a really great system and way to affect a positive outcome. Tell us a little bit about what makes up the HARTLed model and how does that work in practice?
The HARTLed approach is being able to advance, complete, and lead, and meaning no starting and stopping, no funding gaps, making sure they're supported throughout their entire aviation journeys. And what does that mean? Getting those dollars in the door. And that's really what this is to make sure that we have the funding necessary to do this and impact and help more women along their journeys, whether it's flight training, aircraft maintenance, ATC, manufacturing. We have a very strong alliance with Gamma and really working on and having an understanding of those workforce shortages. Where are we now? Where are we going? What kind of talent do we need to help? And that's really what this is about, is having that understanding, that awareness, and having I HART Flying coming in to help solve those issues, one person, one woman, one opportunity at a time. And our selection process in and of itself is very rigorous. It's very competitive. We literally will get 1 million+ impressions a month during our active campaigns. And with that being said, with the amount of applications that we get, we're building the awareness. We're building strong alliances with even more underserved, underprivileged communities, because we want to create more awareness of these opportunities, other opportunities, because we don't want anybody to not be able to succeed. And again, it's really sharing in the wealth, sharing in the knowledge, and sharing in that assistance with everybody. It just comes full circle. We have 3 phases in our selection process. We have the initial blind grading phase, and we have an amazing scholarship selection committee of industry leaders from all walks of life, all across the board, that, donate their time to the organization to help us choose the next generation of aviation leaders. And we are completely packed for our first cycle this year, which was under our umbrella campaign. It's called HARTLed, Cleared for Takeoff. And our first scholarship cycle was Access Granted Runway to Rise, where women were spring forward into flight, powered by HART for their first rotation, so they are cleared to rise. Again, the starting and stopping, no funding gaps, having a little bit of fun with those, videos were high energy, high effort, high motivation, because we want to keep people and women excited on their journey and not get discouraged if they aren't chosen, for the first cycle. And we are full speed ahead. Our second scholarship cycle, it's really going to be, I haven't set the entire theme, but it's about cleared for your unrestricted climb, because now you're cleared direct to your future. And that's going to be launching around AirVenture time. So we can wrap that up by the beginning of October. So then we are full speed ahead for NBAA at the end of the month. So there is a method to our madness. With after the blind grading phase, we do a video portion. And I always say to all of the finalists when I call them, there's a method to our madness. This isn't just a video that you're creating for I HART Flying. This is something you are creating for you, to share your passion for aviation, why you're doing this, why you want this, and what your journey has looked like. And fast forward to this time, Grace Isabor, one of our finalists and now newest HART scholars, because we just announced our newest 4 HART scholars last Tuesday. A media outlet in Africa contacted her based on the video that she created for I HART Flying, because they saw her story, saw her journey, and wanted to share that with other people to help impact and share that journey with others as well. So it's really cool. She's like, wow, you were right. Thank you so much. Now I understand why you asked us to do this. And so that's really humbling for me and our team, because again, this is about everybody's journeys, and everybody's journey is different.
Not for nothing, those videos weren't just these simple selfies. I mean, these were good videos. There were stories inherent. So from the moment the video started, and Ellie, I can't wait to share these with you. I know we got them via email a couple of days ago, and I watched them over the weekend. Man, these are awesome. These are really well-produced videos, so that these are definitely assets they can use moving forward.
I'm sure you can imagine how difficult it is, because you're really pulling at straws, because you wish you can help everybody. And, the good thing about I HART Flying is I explain to different partners, sponsors, donors that we speak to, cultivate, and relationship build with, is donating to a small organization like I HART Flying. You see where the money is going. You see where your impact is going. You see who you are affecting, impacting, and changing their lives. And that's what's so important about the work that we're doing, is, again, what we're building, who we're helping. And then when you go into these Zoom interviews with our selection committee, so we always have veteran members that have been on with us for a long time. And each cycle we bring on some new folks, just so they can get bird's eye views of the process and how difficult it really is. We now have former HART scholars that have participated on our selection committee, so they can understand the other side of what they were on initially when they applied. And now one of our former HART scholars, who is CFII, head of pilot hiring for Frontier Airlines, just came on our board as secretary. So super excited to start seeing the impact come full circle.
And you have so many heavy hitters on there, right? It's people that are attracted to this energy, and it's such an overwhelming response. Now, when you started this organization, was there ever a point you had doubts, or you thought maybe you weren't going to be able to reach the goal or help as many people as you wanted to?
That's a really good question. No, it was the complete opposite. When I awarded the first opportunity in December of 2017, Chelsea Lotz was our first scholarship recipient. She's a head engineer and aircraft maintenance technician at Boeing. She's been there ever since. And I mean, that in and of itself, I'm like, wow, okay. And she has actually given back to the organization since But no, honestly, we grew so fast, so early on. I had to make a decision at that time whether I was going to expand, bring on extra folks, things like that. And I said to myself, okay, I'm not looking to compete with the larger organizations or something like that. You have to think to yourself, am I doing good? Am I helping people? Am I changing people's lives? Whether that's one person a year, 10 people a year, 20 people a year, you're still making a difference. And I said, okay, let me just scale this back at that time. Well, let's circle to now. The beginning of the year, I was afforded another opportunity of expansion, and I took it. I said, let's do this. Let's see where we can take this organization over the next 5 to 10 years. Hence the people and the good folks that I have on my board. We're still looking for 2 more folks that we're, actively speaking with for a couple different other positions. We have a strategic advisory committee, and it's really having people come on that believe in our mission, believe in our cause, and believe in the good that we're doing. And as you saw, some of the people on our board are amazing folks. They've had incredible impact in the industry leaders, and I couldn't be more grateful for their support moving forward. And they are part and parcel of this expansion and growth where we're going.
Let's take a quick break from this conversation to tell you about one of our wonderful show supporters. Here's something every pilot knows. Finding sunglasses that actually work with your headset is nearly impossible. That's why I'm super excited to tell you about Flight Sunglasses, our newest show supporter. Flight gets it. They're made by pilots for pilots using wafer-thin carbon fiber, the same material we trust to build our aircraft. No more broken headset seals, no more pressure points, just crystal clear vision and all-day comfort, whether you're in the cockpit or on the ground. Head over to flight.aero and join their mailing list for $20 off your first pair. That's FLYTE.aero. Sunglasses designed for pilots, worn by everyone. And now, back to the conversation.
We've talked about the leadership and the people that are involved with this, but even the applicants and those that don't win are the majority that are still out there voicing what a wonderful organization this is and staying engaged. So it's not simply an organization that you've built. It's a community. It's almost like a nation, like a HART Nation.
HARTNation.
Tell us a little bit about what that means to you.
What that means to me is, again, this is people who have big hearts, HART hearts, and it's really taking it's such a humbling experience, and we're all working hard. We're all working towards the same goal. And whether you're getting a scholarship through I HART Flying, whether it's mentorship, guidance, motivation, whatever it is, anything can help. I have men that reach out to say something we did and said changed their trajectory in their aviation careers or life, or they stopped flying for a while and they wanted to circle back to it, and they did it because they saw something we did or said. And that, like I said, you can't put a dollar amount on how that makes you feel. Because a lot of people will say, well, Rachelle, why are you doing this? That's why. Or if Grace contacted me and shared what she did with me. And like I said, this first scholarship cycle of 2026 reminded me of how important the work that we are doing is. With, like I said, the engagement, the level of participation, the level of organizations, women championing women, us coming together to spread that good, spread the awareness. And I said, don't be discouraged if you aren't chosen this time, because you're still learning, you're still growing, you're still advancing towards your goal. And all you are is making yourself better and stronger for that next application you're going to submit. Speaking of that, we do have a lot of women who apply 2, 3, and even 4 times before being chosen as either a finalist or a scholarship recipient. That doesn't mean that we're still not going to share their stories, share their journeys. I've just brought on a wonderful new girl to help with our social media, and we're going to be starting with a day in a life series. And, sharing other people's stories and journeys, and that is coming. And so we're super excited, and we are going to be reaching out to some of our finalists and other applicants in different capacities to share their day in the life and what's it like during their journey. So again, I think, again, this is coming full circle because we want everybody to feel championed.
By nature, you have to select those who receive scholarships, but that doesn't necessarily make them the only winners. Everybody that participates in the community can certainly find some sort of value and thus take away a little piece of winning. And that's kind of what makes this community so great, and the positivity that emanates from it. Now, you speak to a point about we put a lot of awareness in, and there's getting out the word and bringing in people to the space. What do you think are some barriers to keeping people in the space?
Money. It's money and motivation, because I think we are all our own worst critics, and it's very easy to compare our journeys to everybody else's, especially in today's day and age with social media. And you see like the FOMO, or again, the get there-itis, and I want to be where this person is, or I want to have these opportunities, or, why didn't I achieve my private pilot's license in X number of hours, or whatever it may be. But again, all of our journeys are different. Look, I'm very hard on myself. I remember even when I was trying to get my landings for the first time, and, finally at some point, and I think this is anything in our lives, we need to take a step back. Because when you're pushing and pushing and pushing, you're kind of pushing that further away from you instead of letting it come and happen when it's supposed to on your own time frame. And just really being grateful for the opportunity, being grateful for your journey, and actually appreciating it. Because you know what? You only have one first takeoff, one first solo, one first private pilot check ride. So you see where I'm going with this is, if you're going to rush through it, you're not really going to appreciate it when you're at that end goal. Just
being surrounded by the people in aviation makes the journey that much better. Now, that said, aviation is full of some of the best and the brightest people on the planet. And to watch them stumble and to even feel frustrated, almost it's comforting in a fact, than to watch some of these people who are extremely capable have some difficulty as well, and then be able to address that and overcome it, and then take that into mentorship and say, hey, here's what I learned. That is one of the things that aviation is just so special about.
It really is, because again, like I said, nobody's journey is one and the same. We all have hardships. We all have adversities. We all have life. We all have different moving pieces that are out of our control. So what do you do with that? And you have to really set your intentions every day. How do I want to be? How do I want to act? How do I want to treat people? How do I want to treat me? How do you want to treat yourself? You got to be kind. Kindness is free. So kindness to yourself, first and foremost. You have to love yourself. You have to have big hearts for yourself before you can have big hearts for others. And again, it's just coming back and saying, okay, what can I be grateful for right now? And finding that gratitude list, and, following up, following through, doing what you say what you mean. And that it really just comes back to, okay, it all starts with you in here.
That's a great starting place and really valuable advice for somebody. Now, let's take that a step further. And since my daughter Ellie has joined us, and she has some great opportunities, she herself would like to explore aviation. What advice would you give to somebody in her age?
My piece of advice is never let somebody tell you there's something you can't do. It doesn't matter your age, whether you're a boy or a girl. I wrench on vintage Volkswagens. I love to work on cars and I was the first girl on the boys wrestling team when I was in school. So, it's what works for you. You have to do what brings you joy, and you have to do what makes you happy. And if you want to be a pilot, an aircraft mechanic, if you want to be an engineer, whatever it is, you can do it. And you have to, again, do what makes you happy and brings you joy. And there's always going to be someone or something around you that would probably try to say or, do otherwise, but you just have to follow your heart and follow you. And that's what is really important. And that's all that matters.
That's such a great empowering message. And we've empowered this generation, and we are empowering this next generation to come up and really take advantage of these opportunities. So now I'd like you to put on your look in your crystal ball, put on your future glasses, and this next generation comes in. What does that look like for aviation?
Endless opportunities. I mean, the time is now. We have a huge pilot shortage. I mean, Boeing's numbers, we need over 700,000 new pilots within the next 2 decades. We have over a 30,000 worker shortage for aircraft mechanics. So when you're just looking at those 2 areas, and as we know, there's a lot of areas in aviation, whether it's civil or military, there are a lot of opportunities. They are out there. Funding is out there. There are many organizations aside from I HART Flying that are offering resources of what those scholarships are and where they are, like Aviation Careers Podcast, aviationstart.org. Those 2 in and of itself, there are so many resources that are offering people ways to help in different capacities. So they are out there. You got to go get it. And I always say nobody's going to do the work for you. And especially with being a female, no one's going to take you seriously unless you do the work. You got to pull up your bootstraps. And if you want people to take you seriously, you got to do the work. I did 4 ratings in 7 months. I got my first single pilot jet type rating at 300 hours when I had the owner of the flight school and other people telling me that I couldn't do it. And it's really, sure, there were a lot of tears. There were a lot of phone calls and there were setbacks. Sure, there were, but I did it. And and to this day, I'm proud of myself what I did. And now, the amount of aircraft that I fly, warbirds. My favorite is the Yak 52. I love doing aerobatics. I love sharing a first aerobatic experience with kids and other people. Because again, most people aren't going to see a female standing next to a Yak 52 saying, hey, let's go. And look, I'm grateful for the opportunities that I've had to fly some amazing aircraft, learn these aircraft. But like I said, it's all about the people you get to do it with. And I've done things with the D-Day Squadron, the DC-3 Society. I've met amazing veterans that I've had the opportunity to fly with, alongside with, and things like that. So again, the opportunities in aviation are endless. Everybody wants you to join in on that experience, take you with them, share that with you, and get you going on your journey to completion.
And there are so many resources. Great mention for our great friends, Carl Valeri and Jamail Larkins, of course, Aviation Careers Podcast and aviationstart.org, just putting out the message day after day after day. So the future of aviation is looking pretty good. And I love the passion that you're getting and you're driving into this space. Now, you've done so much in this coming up on 10 years with the I HART Flying Foundation. You yourself have done so much in aviation. Is there anything that keeps you awake at night that you feel like, man, we could really do better?
Oh, absolutely. I've been working this year probably on average 75-hour weeks. Like I said, strengthening the governance, the leadership within the organization, looking how we're going to expand, cultivating new partners, sponsors, donors, getting the word out, more people on board to help with funding. And that's really what it's about. And that's pretty much what keeps me awake at night is I know we're doing good. I know the people that we're helping are doing good. I know we are spreading the awareness and wanting to help these critical workforce shortages within the industry as a whole, and the impact that we are having speaks volumes based on our success rates. Yes, I would definitely say fundraising is not for the faint of heart. And yes, pun intended. And, taking on this leadership role this year, it gives you a lot of perspective. And, just because you're doing good doesn't mean, people are always wanting to be on board with exactly what you're doing, and understanding that it's nothing personal. You're still friends with all of the great folks in the aviation community. But about resilience. It's about grit. It's about believing in you, your mission, your goals. You know you're doing good. You have a great impact. And those people will come. Those relationships will come. And the right people will align with you that are supposed to. And I have to believe that every day with what we're doing and what we're building.
That's a great message. Just add value into the industry and the purpose, the community. It will find you. All you got to do is squawk. Let them know you're out there and put something good in. Leave more than you take. And I promise you, this is going to happen. That's such a great message. You brought so many great points that we're going to be able to just drive so much value. We've done most of the flight. We've been through the heavy weather. I think we should do some fun stuff. You up for a couple of fun questions?
All right, let's do it.
Now, we talked about snacks early on in the flight. I've been thinking about food since we started. Since you've mentioned that, I think Ellie has a question about snacks. Ellie, you want to ask Rachelle a question?
What's your favorite in-flight snack?
What's my in-flight snack? Oh boy. Okay, so I am a sucker for desserts and sweets. So any type of dessert item, cookies, cakes, you name it, I will eat it. But I will say, if there are any donuts, or I love anything maple. So, but I won't discriminate about any type of dessert item. I would actually eat dessert before I would eat a meal if I could.
Yeah, we can fly together. That's no problem. I have no aversion to sweets myself. I know a couple of great donut shops all over the country.
Well, now I have to eat a donut next time I fly. Gotta bring a donut with me.
What's your favorite flavor of donut?
Yeah, that's for you.
Probably a strawberry glazed donut. That one's really good.
Okay, well, I like it. It's pink.
Is that your favorite color? Just as a, I'm just
Actually,
guessing.
no. My favorite color, believe it or not, is a violet purple, like a violet lilac-ish purple.
If you could, you mentioned a bunch of different types. The Yak 52 is such a great aircraft, man. I love that one. If you could fly anything that you haven't flown, what would that be?
Oh boy, the F-22, the Raptor.
Nice. That's all right. Yeah. That's the first F-22 I've gotten, believe it or not. And I've been doing this quite a while.
Man, just the capabilities of that aircraft. I mean, years ago it's Sun and Fun. Oh, come on. I mean, it's pretty sick. The hovering and whatever else it's doing. Oh, man, it's great.
Oh, the
That's
22,
what I want to fly.
The 22. Yes, Ellie just said this week that the 22 would be her choice. And we may know a couple of folks flying the F-22 at this time. The demo, shout out to the demo team. Just a great team.
Remember those big donuts they had at Sun and Fun? Oh yeah. And so it's called Peachy's Donuts, and they finally opened up their own store after all of those years in Florida.
They're right up the road. I mean, like I go just right up there to see them. They come on, at any given weekend they're at the Ace.
Can you overnight me some of those donuts?
That's the wonderful thing about aviation is people are always going somewhere. And so, yes, that is totally possible. Stand by. That is amazing. I'm gonna reach out to them and tell them that you said that. They're just going to be.
I know. We follow each other on Instagram all of these years. Oh, yeah.
Oh, coming to you.
I am serious.
Leslie, I don't think you've had a chance to hear about the donuts, but there's these Amish donuts, and they're something. So maybe we'll bring some up when we come. We're headed that way shortly. So, it may not be a Kringle, but they're delicious. So
Wisconsin Kringle, come on.
See,
hey,
I told you.
I'm not going to discriminate. I will gladly take it.
Sweets from all over the country. Really, I think we should just do this. That's one of the best things about aviation is we can reach a lot of places, in a short period of time. So another great thing is that we have so many people that are colorful characters and wonderful people, memorable characters. So if you could select from anybody who's ever existed, whether they be in aviation or not, to sit right seat or back seat in this case, who would you take with you? Who's your dream right seat pilot? Who's your dream co-pilot?
You know what? I go to Living Legends of Aviation pretty much every year. And, I've had that opportunity and I get to be around a lot of great folks. I would just have to say, John Travolta hosts the event every year. And I haven't had the opportunity to meet him, which I'd really like to because he seems just to be a joy and a down-to-earth, nice man. And I honestly, I think he would be lovely to fly with, have a good conversation, just because I just like to surround myself with good people and that have that passion and joy and excitement for aviation. Because again, it's like, it doesn't matter how many times you take off, how many different aircraft you fly. Like I said, it's magic.
Maybe some Peachy's donuts here, maybe a little rip around the patch with John Travolta. Maybe those can be a little coercive, perhaps. Sounds like the makings of an epic day. I mean, you have just brought umpteen pieces of sound bites that I can use, and I can't thank you enough for really bringing the passion and the energy to the episode.
Well, no, thank you so much for having me. It was a joy to have everybody here today, and obviously we have a love for donuts and desserts, and helping people. What more could you ask for?
I want to make sure that if anybody want to find you, they want to reach out, possibly to say hello. How could they follow you on social media, and where can they keep up with you?
Sure. Make sure to go to iHartFlying.org. That's IHARTFlying.org. And you can sign up for our newsletter and just stay in touch with us as far as all of our giveaways, opportunities, scholarships, where we're going to be and when. Always love to meet new people. Please say hi. Let's get a photo. Let's share some stories, and let's see how we can help.
Absolutely epic. Highly encourage anybody to do that. We're going to put all that information down in the show notes for this episode.
And also, obviously, Instagram and Facebook, I HART Flying.
We're going to put those in the show notes as well.
Ellie, I need you to report back about these donuts and any F-22 updates.
Yeah, I got you.
And that right there is why we do this show. What a great conversation about the ripple effect, about the HARTLed model, and what it really means to advance, complete, and lead. We talked about HARTNation, about kindness, starting with yourself, and about never letting anybody tell you there's something you can't do. And yeah, we talked about donuts. If there's one thing I want you to take from today's show, it's this. You don't need a 5-year plan to change somebody's life. Sometimes it's just a message, a flight, a 5-minute conversation. So go be somebody's ripple today. Now, before we bring this one in for a landing, if you've enjoyed today's episode, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss a show. And if you've got 30 seconds, please leave us a review wherever you're listening. It genuinely helps other aviation enthusiasts find this show, and it means the world to us here at the Future in Flight podcast. Big thanks to Rachelle Spector and the entire I HART Flying team for the work they're doing and for spending this time with us. And thank you, our listener, for being here with us today. We'll see you next time right here on the Future in Flight podcast. Until then, we'll see you out there and up there.